show, well, those are your own. But just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen. Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Yes, it is. Got some people already checking in. John B., Raymond B., Mark, it's doing well, man. Like, things are pretty good right now. Like, things are not, like, exciting. Hell, oh, what up, Iggy T? How are you? How you been, Iggy T? Need to get you on the phone someday. Do a little interview. Liam Dargas. Yeah, Mark. No, I mean, I look, I don't want anybody to think like I'm saying like, oh, life is blah. No, it's not. You know, I'm not going to try to sound all holistical or hippie BS type stuff with you guys. I don't really believe in it. Like, certain things work for certain people and they don't work for others. Yeah, John B. I mean, it's funny you bring that up. I was about to like bring up my friend Addie. Addie like helped me look at things in a different light. Like, because I used to be one of those people that let the things that I could not control like bother me. And I know that it sounds simple to say that because we look at what other people have and the stuff that we don't have. And we're like, oh, what the hell, man? Why are they there? Like, I'm a better person. I live by a better code and ethics. No, you can't do that because that will absolutely drive you crazy. Yeah, Mark. No, it was user error. It was. Look, I know how to run a board. I know how to do all that stuff. It's just like I've never had to be the engineer to figure out like how things need to be wired and stuff. So I think I got that all figured out. Like I was able to troubleshoot. Funny thing is that as soon as I got done with the show where I had the big meltdown, I already I'm gonna get to it, John B. But I'd already figured out at the end of the show, and I was so mad. But no, my friend Addie is actually over in Tampa now. She moved to Tampa. She is working at a really good restaurant right now, saving up her money. She's still gonna do that organic ice cream shop that she's been wanting to do. It's been a while. I was there on Sunday whenever I was seeing Colton or bringing Colton back from Bike Week. Matter of fact, I need to call Colton. And I'm not going to call him on the show because I know he would be pissed if like I called him and put him on the show. I'm not going to put him in that position. I need to call him and find out if he got his bike fixed or not. Because he wants to come over again this weekend. And I know Colton very well, and I could tell just from his body language and stuff that he was hating it, seeing everybody else driving around on their motorcycles and stuff, and him not being able to do it. So I think that's why he wants to come again. But, you know, Colton, in true Colton fashion, he's trying to do it on him, do it all himself to be able to save a little bit of money. And I mean, I think he'll get it done, but I need to call him and get an update to see if he even got the parts in. Because he needs the parts. It's not like he can like fix what's already broken. No, he's going to need a lot of brand new parts. So I need to check in with him. But yeah, no, John B. Back to what I was saying though about my life. A lot of people would think that I'm saying that it's boring. It's not. Like self improvement, like working on yourself. I've learned is a very lonely place, and there's a lot of people that can do and multitask, do things to improve their life, but still hang out with people. But I'm one of those people where I just have to withdraw a little bit. I need to just concentrate on work, concentrate on working out, improving myself, not putting a bunch of poison in my body like I used to. It sucks because it's boring. The shifter down on his left side, I don't know a lot about bikes and stuff, but it started becoming loose. And his older riding buddy that he rides around with all the time was like giving him a hard time, talking about how he's having a hard time shifting gears. So he can't shift gears right now. So it's just one little piece because the teeth, where you're kicking down and kicking back, it got like flattened out. So it was just spinning when he was trying to do that. So it's not anything to do with the engine itself. So I mean that is a good thing. Man. But yeah, I was gonna hang out with my friend Addie, but she was busy. And like I said, I think it was great for her to move to Tampa and stuff. Sucks she's not around. I think Volusia County might have been a little too southern since she's what you would consider a Yankee coming from Long Island and stuff. So on today's show, I got two great interviews. I got Robb Courtney, former pro wrestler, podcaster, big Second Amendment rights activist. He also has a podcast. I talked to him. I recorded that over the weekend. And then I had a great interview with Kirk Buchner. I thought it was Buchner, but I made an ass of myself during this interview, completely butchering his last name. Yeah, that's always fun to do. Yeah, it all depends on how you handle it and how bad you butcher it, because you got a little bit of a window there to be able to save face, like you actually know what you're doing or you actually prepped for the interview. You know, I hear people talking all the time about, oh man, that's a real bad way to go, a real bad way to die, and I can kind of see like a bad death. A bad death would be something that you
Recently turned his life
while you were dying, right? Like seriously. Embarrassing deaths, I really don't think count. Because even if it's embarrassing, guess what? You're gonna be dead. You're not gonna be thinking about how you died or whatever. A bad death is like something that you would be suffering on your way out. Now, this isn't I mean, this is a pretty embarrassing, and how the hell? This is like one of those things where you're like, man, I don't want to go out this way. But this poor dude, end of the workday, probably wanted to like lay some cable or drop a deuce before he hit the road. Probably is riding around in a vehicle that has no air. Last thing you want to do is sit in a hot, sweaty ass, humid car in Florida after you just got done taking a dump, because you can never ever get clean. But this guy, he got crushed by a bulldozer while he was in a portalet.
He was a father of three who recently turned his life around, but Friday evening, Aaron Henderson was tragically killed while he was working at the Polk County North Central landfill. Fox 13's
I worked on a lot of construction jobs when I was a welder, and I was a part of the safety crew, like every crew, the welders, the brick masons, the tilt panel people, the air conditioner people, the window people. They all gotta like send one person from their crew to go to the weekly safety meetings. And they showed us all these videos of like, accidents and what you shouldn't do, because they all show you the things you shouldn't do. Like, they don't show you videos of, hey, this is the right way. No, they show you when people fuck up. Yeah, the people, I mean, that is a great point, Mark. Mark says the people you leave behind get ridiculed. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Think if this guy had kids, you know how like horrible bullying can be over the dumbest stuff. Could you imagine if you were the kid that your dad died while taking a dump on a job site? Yeah, kids would go for that. But yeah, I was a part of those safety meeting teams, those meetings we had, and they never showed us any videos about the correct way to take a dump and not get crushed by a bulldozer. Like, when you're doing big lifts on a steel erection job, you're hanging iron, you gotta have a spotter down there. So now, are you gonna have to, when you go to the bathroom, you're gonna have to go in teams? So you got a flag man out there so that you don't get crushed by a bulldozer. I'm sorry. I don't want people to think that I'm being insensitive when I kind of chuckle like that. I do that when I'm uncomfortable, and this story makes me uncomfortable.
Catherine Hawley is live near there tonight. So, Catherine, you spoke with his family today. How are they holding up?
Well, Kelly, they are leaning on each other for support and still processing this horrible news.
Could you be any closer to the highway and not be able to hear you because the trucker is just hauling ass?
Questioning how this could have happened. Loved ones say Aaron Henderson's smile and laugh could light up a room. The 40-year-old was a family man who recently...
Yeah. Well, I mean, we need to. I mean, look, all right, so, guys. All right, so you're in the chat room right now. You're talking about a certain platform that I'm on. You got to realize that just because what you see on Twitch is not my real numbers and stuff, because I'm also on other platforms as well too. So, bringing that up, yeah, Spice Boys Gold Mike Doorstop, like, I need you guys to help spread the word about the certain platforms and stuff. I mean, that would be great. Like, I would like a representative of every platform. Maybe it could be, instead of 3 branches of government, we could have 4 branches of how you watch the Tuddle Daily Podcast. By the way, if you're listening to this right now, audio version, because when I get done with this show, I take the audio from that and I post it for the audio podcast. But if you're listening to the audio podcast and you want to catch it live and see what happens, because this is without a safety net. Like, if I go down in a ball of flames, I need your help and everything. And the thing is that if I go down in a ball of flames, it's like walking a tightrope with no safety net. I squirreled myself there because I'm reading comments and stuff. So a lot of people, don't forget, 6 to 8, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8. If you'd like to catch it live, subscribe, hit that bell button so you're alerted to whenever I go live. But if you're the mother and your husband or your baby daddy ends up getting crushed by a bulldozer while taking a dump in a portalet, do you tell your kids that? What up, Sean Raz? Do you tell your kids about that? Like, do you yep, dad died while taking a dump. And, the movie Zombieland was so ahead of its time because in the movie they talked about how vulnerable you are as a person while taking a dump. Sean Raz, boom. Coming in with the 5 Sean Raz. Thank you, buddy. I really, really appreciate that. It does go a long way. Be cool like Sean Raz. And if you don't want to donate financially, you can easily just tell your friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, enemies about the Tuddle Daily Podcast. But do you tell the kids about, He died while pooping. And like I said, Zombieland did have it correct because you are so vulnerable as a man, as a woman. When you're taking a dump, like your whole fight or flight instinct is just disengaged.
Finally turned his life around.
He came up in the streets a little bit, and he was tired of
he came in the what?
living like that, and he wanted to have a responsible and be a responsible person.
He says Aaron was hired to work at the Polk County North Central.
I mean, my point exactly, Mark. Mark says hard to defend yourself while moving your bowels. It is. Have you ever seen like a dog, like watched a dog take a dump? It's always so uncomfortable because they feel vulnerable when you watch a dog poop. Dogs hate it when you watch them poop because they're like, all right, this guy, he is sizing me up. He's sizing me up.
Landfill a few weeks ago, a job he was really enjoying and excited about.
He had a great life with me and AJ.
Oh, I just lost my dad, but I don't know how I feel about pitting your kids on TV in front of the local news media and say, hey, let's talk about your dad that got crushed by a, it's just bad.
It's me and AJ and my other brother.
See, Mark right here is on my side when it comes to being vulnerable when you poop. A dog bit me while I was pooping. True story. Yeah. And guess what? That dog would have never, ever got the drop on you if you weren't dropping one.
He's in a better place now.
The father.
Okay. Look, I really don't support organized religion. I can't say that God doesn't exist. I do believe in a higher power. I don't know what it is. But he's not in a better place. His better place would be there to be able to provide for you. So I know that parents and adults say this to kids to make them feel better about it, but he's not in a better place. And thank God that your family is going to get paid. You're going to get paid because there's no way that your family isn't getting at least $1 million for your dad dying while pooping in a portalet. No, you're going to get paid. Mark's got jokes.
Who recently
life a few weeks ago, a job he was really enjoying and excited about.
He had a great life with me and AJ and my other brother. He's in a better place now.
I feel really, really bad for him. Man.
The father of 3 was killed on the job Friday evening, crushed by a bulldozer while inside a porta potty. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says,
Damn. And you know what? The sad thing is that the guy driving the bulldozer probably smokes a little pot. He was probably ready to get off of work. Or if he wasn't high when he did it, he was definitely looking forward to getting to his car as fast as he could to burn one on his way home before he had to listen to his old lady bitch at him and stuff. And he just wasn't paying attention. And like, if you kill somebody on a job site, you're getting piss tested. You are absolutely getting piss tested. And this guy, he's probably, because a lot of people on jobs, they smoke weed. They do. You can always tell the ones that smoke weed and stuff because they're the ones that'll pick up little injuries that you need to go to the hospital for, but it's not like life or death. And like somebody that will have a finger just hanging off by some skin and meat, they're not going to go because guess what? Their workman's comp isn't going to cover it because they're going to test positive for some type of substance.
It appears to be a tragic industrial accident.
Your brother was here the other day just happy, and then all of a sudden you never see him again.
Investigators say the driver of the bulldozer was heading to an area to park for the end of the day. They say he didn't see the porta potty because the front blade was elevated.
I know this is going to be like a really, really dumb thing to say, but like one of the worst things in the world is to cut one off. Like you are, moving your bowels and you're in mid cable and you pucker up for some reason and you cut one off. That is very uncomfortable because every guy, they love it when you get one of those ghost wipes. And by ghost wipes means like you lay one down that you're like, holy crap, this is going to be a murder scene when I wipe. But when you wipe, there's nothing. There's nothing on the paper. That's a ghost wipe. That's a ghost wipe. But, back to cut one off, like, what if you die while you're in the middle of pooping? Like, do you go to your grave with that unsatisfactory feeling back there? Like you're just cutting one off and you're like, yep. When they cremate me or whatever, there's some doo-doo in the back because I died while I was in mid-cable.
And obstructing his view. We're told OSHA is investigating, but no one from the agency got back to us Monday. According to the sheriff's office, the medical exam.
I really would like to see some of the stats. Ghost wipes from too much garlic. I mean, you're a wealth of knowledge today, Mark.
Examiner ruled Aaron's death accidental.
At the end of the day, we don't know what happened, but we just want to know the truth. You know what I'm saying? So we hope.
Oh, you want to know the truth? I want to know was he able, did he cut it off when he died because he was in mid-poop, or was he able to get it done and he was about to wipe? What would have been better? Like to get done with the whole thing and you're about to open up the door and get crushed? I don't know, man.
They do a thorough investigation and, you know what I'm saying, and come back with the truth. That's all we want is the truth.
And the family is vowing to find out exactly what happened to Aaron. They are planning a candlelight vigil for him in Winter Haven tomorrow night.
Man, that is just really, really sad. Before I get to my first interview, because I do have 2 interviews today. We've all had these nights. We all have had them. And I know that you're probably going to see a lot of these type of stories, especially with Bike Week going on. And this is all blurred out and everything. I don't know. But, all right, so we've all had those nights where we're like, oh, man, what did I do? I mean, that last time I really, really got drunk before I went into the hospital, the one where Colton, like, we were doing a Bubba 199, and Bubba was like, he dared us. He was like, I want y'all to drink. And I'm not blaming this on Bubba. Like, I'm a grown adult. I could have easily said no, but I was trying to make the balls happy. I overdid it. And Colton had to drive me home. I woke up the next day. It was like 1 o'clock. I had no recollection of what happened. Colton's dad threw out his back because I was dead weight. And this is back when I was laying a little heavy. It was like one of the only times in my life where I was over 200 pounds. And I got so messed up that they had to carry me in. And I also urinated in a place I wasn't supposed to urinate, like a goddamn heathen. This guy, he, for some reason, this is the great thing about these Ring doorbell cameras and stuff, because we are getting a lot of great video content. And this guy, for some reason, just comes into view, and he's butt-ass naked, and he steals these people's flag, American flag, oh glory, to cover up his nudity. I mean, come on, we not to this level, but we've all had these moments that we definitely would not want to be caught on a Ring doorbell. And I'm sure, like, even whatever this guy's situation was, if he would have, like, left a note and said, hey, I took your flag, I'll pay you back for it. Yeah, he is a true patriot. But, I mean, I don't think that this couple, I mean, look, if I saw this guy out the front door taking a flag, I would just be like, hey, man, take it. Like, yeah, do what you need to do. Because I feel bad for the guy. Like, I don't even know, like, if he is a hardened criminal or anything. This guy probably is down on his luck, got an old lady at the house bitching at him all the time, holding his kids over his head. Yeah, he can't get a good meal, and he just wanted to get out and just, hang out with the buds, hang out with the boys, get a little drunk. And this has ended up what happening. This guy isn't a bad guy. He's just down on his luck. Yeah. All right. So the interview, the first one that I'm going to play for you, Robb Courtney. I interviewed him on Saturday. I wonder why old ladies keep bitching at their men. I was waiting for Amy to check in there. But last night during my interview with Jordan, the video kind of freaked out on me a little bit. So hopefully this one isn't going to be a problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Give me 1 second. I'm so unprofessional sometimes. What the hell? Like, seriously. Because now, like, I think I'm going to have to play the videos from now on, like, by sharing my screen and stuff. And if that's the case, look, I'm working through it, people. I really, really am. So just please bear with me for a second. But Robb Courtney, great interview. Great guy. I want to work with him some more. All right, here we go. Let me share the screen. And this is my interview, Robb Courtney. And it is the Tuddle Daily podcast. I love talking to other podcasters, especially all over the country. But my next add to stream, remove. I don't understand, like, why the audio would not be playing. I got it, people. Like, seriously. Look, guys, I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I know. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. I mean, I got to get these, like, mistakes all taken care of and stuff, because this is kind of driving me a little crazy, people. Seriously, like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I try to do everything that I can, because there's been times I've gotten into the interviews and so Kirk, what I'm gonna do is all right, so here, let's do this. Because there's been great for me. In 3, 2, 1. All right, so here, let's see this. I know, thank you, man. Share screen. Doing this. Share screen. Share screen. Please tell me if you guys can hear this once I play it, because there's been times I've gotten into the interviews and so Kirk, I love here. I've used this is so bad. Every day of my life. I go by fucking embarrassed. Welcome back. Got another great interview that my producer Vulture set up for me. You guys hear this? Guest, Kirk Buchner. Did I say the last name right? Because
I go by Buchner, but I'm called the wrong name every day of my life, so all good.
That's another thing I like doing, because we were talking before this. I was talking about things I like to do for my own amusement and stuff. I also like to just go right in on the guest names, and 9 times out of 10. I know, dead air, guys. I got it. Thank you. I have had these interviews, like I've had this whole show lined up for me to be able to get this to work. And now it's nothing. Well, good, General Savage. And go listen to White Noise. I don't know what to tell you. But what the fuck? Like, I prep for these interviews and stuff. And I just don't get why this is not fucking working. See if this will work this way. I doubt that it will. The interviews and stuff. Kirk, what I'm going to do is I'm the hit king, and that's it. He just walks it off like that. I think that would be a big ass pimp move.
It would be, but then it's also become his shtick.
Yeah.
So it's sort of hard for him right now. I guess the current martyr would be Curt Schilling, who did exactly what you suggested. He said, "Don't vote for me," and a lot of people didn't. And
that reverse psychology did not work because, I mean, Schilling was not the most likable guy either.
But I think in his case, though, it actually helps him because of the same Pete Rose analogy. Curt Schilling will now be the one guy forever saying, well, the writers kept him out because of his political beliefs. And if you're on that side of a political aisle, you're going to gravitate towards Curt Schilling, right or wrong. And I'm not going to discuss my political things, and nobody cares about what I think politically, I don't think. But I think it actually keeps him more famous by not putting him out. There was one writer, and I'm blanking on the name. I want to say Bill James, but I could be mistaken. Who 2 years ago said, I'm going to respect, I can't put him in because I don't want him to be able to monetize being a Hall of Famer. And I don't think that person realized that you're doing the exact opposite in Schilling's case.
What do you think? Because I've seen these stories all the time. I'm the biggest baseball fan. I think out of all the Hall of Fames, when you say that Cooperstown is the most legendary out of all the Hall of Fames, right? Like, I mean, you would say there, even though it might not be the most popular sport right now, but if you're talking about Hall of Fames, baseball, Cooperstown has got to be like at the top of the mountain, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Baseball is, even though baseball is not the biggest sport in the United States anymore, I think football is by a wide margin. The Baseball Hall of Fame is still mythical. Baseball doesn't like itself, unfortunately. And we're seeing that again play out with another labor dispute.
I don't think they can come back from this one, though, Kirk, because, like, you know, after the last strike, we had the home run chase. Mm-hmm. And little did we know, a lot of it was being fueled by steroids and stuff. But that saved baseball. McGuire and Sosa, and then you had Bonds coming up after that. Everybody forgot about that labor strike back in the 90s.
Yeah, and this one just feels so different. I think people are tired of millionaires arguing with billionaires, regardless, especially after we're coming 2 years off of a pandemic. A lot of us, myself included, the revenue is not what it used to be. It's really hard to get excited about it. Baseball is not the cool sport anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. And I think, when a lot of people will say, well, why aren't there more like African Americans playing in baseball? It's not because they don't have the opportunity. They just don't want to bother. They'd rather do something cooler.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Now, Kirk, you guys talk about people being in the Hall of Fame, but what about those ones that have absolutely gotten robbed, okay? The ones that should be in there, but for some reason, they're never, ever in there. And I did not follow who got inducted into Canton this year, but I'm a lifelong Miami Dolphins fan. And Zach Taylor not being in the NFL Hall of Fame is, I think, one of the biggest snubs in quite some time. You know what? I got to put myself up here real quick. I look like a complete idiot. I was thinking Jason Taylor, and I said Zach Taylor. Holy crap, this guy thinks he's got to think I'm an idiot. Seriously. I was trying to act all big and bad and thought that I knew what was going on. And guess what? I didn't know a damn thing. I didn't know a damn thing. I said Zach Taylor, not Zach Thomas. Fuck me. I say the last name right. Has done stuff for the community. I also think it's a big deal if you stay with one team your entire career. I really do think that is a bonus to get into the Hall of Fame. But you're the expert. What's your opinion on that?
No, I agree with you. I think that fact has kept Fred McGriff out, who's got a lot of the stats. But when you think of Fred McGriff, my partner on one of the shows I do, and actually on the site in general, he says, like, if Fred McGriff gets in, the hat that he would wear would be the Tom Urbanski, like those instructional videos, because you remember him more for that than for any team that he actually played for. There are a lot of.
Chipper Jones is one that comes to mind for the Atlanta Braves. I mean, the guy played, he was a Brave his whole entire career. You look at a Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was a lifelong Yankee. I think that still means something.
And it does. Mariano Rivera, I'm happy he got in first year. I'm not happy that he's the first that got in unanimously, because there's so many other greater players before him, Mays, Aaron, that did not. Rivera, again, he meets every criteria. It's just, how is he the first after all of these legends?
So every eligible writer voted him in.
Yeah, he's the only one, the first and only.
So, but what do you think about these writers that do that out of spite, though? Because some of them
they're spiteful. That's it exactly. They do this because they can. I almost consider it like, I guess some of the biggest a-holes you'll ever meet would be the people you don't want to piss off sometimes. And I think, like, at the airport, I'm always on best behavior because I don't want to get them angry.
Yeah. They
remind me of that. It's just like, you've got this one little bit of power and you're able to sort of use that. And there's a lot of spiteful baseball writers who will, at least though, I'll give them credit for this. Not all of them, but half of them will tell you who they voted for and why.
But they're not going to be unbiased, though, because you can't tell me none of these reporters didn't put somebody in just because that player was nice to them or said hello to them every time they saw them out at the ballpark or something, and not based on what type of player they were. It was just because they were nice to you.
And the exact opposite. I mean, we could take Sammy Sosa, who you brought up earlier. Sosa played the media very, very well. And then when the tide turned, especially after the PED usage came, and then a lot of Sosa's teammates were basically implying that Sosa was playing all of you. Nobody wants to be played, media, myself included, right? So how is Sosa's numbers in terms of voting so much lower than a lot of his contemporaries who got labeled with the same PED use?
McGuire, Palmeiro, I think he was another one, wasn't he? He was the one that just showed up to Congress, like, I have to get back with you, and he never showed up again.
Well, no, Palmeiro was the one who actually, he's the one who wagged his finger, and everyone said, well, clearly he didn't do it. And then less than a year later, he got popped, and you never heard from him again. Sosa also went there, and all of a sudden he couldn't speak English.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing for every single one of them. And like my take on that, and it's sort of been consistent. The baseball union never cared, or I shouldn't say didn't care. It wasn't illegal in baseball via the union to not take PEDs until 2004. So if you got popped after, like Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez, when the baseball players agreed, we're not going to do this. That's my line for me personally. So if
you were such a dumbass when they warned you to knock it off, that you kept doing it.
Exactly. So like you knew what the penalty was, whereas beforehand, the union never agreed to that. So, and if you were using steroids, you weren't getting suspended. So it was basically the Wild West because they allowed it to be. Whether you want to say it's the players, the owners, I think it's a combination thereof. For me, and one thing that, again, my partner Evan Nolan always says on this, once you put in Bud Selig, who oversaw all of this,
mm-hmm.
and a lot of writers even said as much, that's sort of why they changed their votes from no to yes on Clemens and Bonds.
Kirk, with this website, I could see it like kind of getting big, blowing up and stuff. Like, have you been approached by some of these bigger sports websites? Because I could see some of them coming to you and be like, hey, Kirk, we like what you're doing, but we don't want to compete with you. We'd love to buy the website. The idea, like, I mean, how many meetings have you had with Dave Portnoy yet?
No, nothing with him. I had one email offer and I didn't even bother with it.
Really?
This is my labor of love right now. It's not even something I'm.
Is there a number though? Is there a number?
No, I can't even think right now. I can't even. Are you
kidding me? Like, if I was some grandson of I know Russian's not a good one to say right now, but say I'm like some grandson of an oligarch and I get all this money and I come up to him like, I got a briefcase or a duffel bag full of $10 million cash. Government's not even going to know about it. Let me get that not in the Hall of Fame domain off of you.
You know what? Once an oligarch comes to me, I'll let you know. I'll tell you what it is. It's, although I'm hoping that another project I just started, again with Evan Nolan, will go. We trademarked the United States Athletic Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah.
So that would cover all sports, kind of like just athletes itself.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, nobody's come up with this. So we put together a group, including two former Olympians, Chris Huffins and Dan Steele, both won bronze medalists, bronze medals. Someone you would know as a Dolphins fan, Richmond Webb, as part of this group.
Oh, wow.
And we put together a group of people that you can vote on. So this Hall of Fame. So it's.
Wait, so this would be the inaugural class of this. So this is across all sports. Okay,
all sports.
Now let me ask you. Sure. Let me ask you this though. Now, what are some of the criterias that are set up here? Do you have to be an American citizen?
Yes.
Okay, so you can be an immigrant that comes to the country that becomes an American citizen, but
there's two examples of that.
Okay, I would love to hear this.
Yeah, so there's two criteria. Like I said, one, you have to be an American. So two people who are immigrants who made the nominating committee or made the nominating list is Brett Hull from my home country of Canada, and Martina Navratilova.
You betcha.
Yeah. So Martina Navratilova is someone who's also a nominee for the first class.
I did not know. Wait, where was she from? Navratilova. I missed that.
The then Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah. I mean that's good. So like now this would cover all sports, amateur sports. Like what if it's a, because we all hear about those stories of, we all knew that kid in high school. He was like the best we ever seen, but he never got a shot. He never got a scholarship offered to him. He never made the big time. Like, what if there was a high school athlete that just had like Al Bundy from Married with Children type numbers? Like, could a high school athlete that
probably not. The bar's going to be pretty high for that. The closest thing I can come up with is we have Josh Gibson, who wasn't allowed to play in the major leagues. So the great all-time hitter for the Negro Leagues. So I mean that's the closest thing I can sort of come up with that sort of fits that example. But we came up with 120 nominees that you can vote on. And can I just do a quick plug on that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. So it's notinhalloffame.com/USA. And from there, that's an open vote. We came up with the nominees, but whoever gets in is up to all of you. We are going to keep that completely transparent.
What are you going to whittle it down to? Like with
the first class will be 50. We're going to let 50 out of the first 120. And then after that, it's just going to be 10 through.
Yeah, it's going to be like a little small class. You got to get a stable built up. Nobody wants to come to wherever this Hall of Fame is going to be eventually, because I think it will be big.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
well, I mean, you probably would want it like in your area. I mean, would you put it in Canada? Or
my area right now is Winnipeg, so I don't think that would work down here. But my partner's in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
might as well be Canada. I mean, more. I mean, I saw this fact. Like, everybody thinks like all the Canadians live north of the United States, but I think there's like a line where the United States, like most of the people in Canada, live below like some of the most northern states in the United States.
In southern Ontario, yes, I that's where I grew up. I'm actually now in Winnipeg after living 3 years in Barbados, because who does that? Apparently me. So
I know this isn't a Hall of Fame related question, but big hockey fan, you got to be from Canada, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so like, it blows my mind. Did you ever think in a million years that one of the biggest hockey towns in the NHL would be located in Tampa, Florida?
Never.
Like, I mean, you being a purist, probably, being from Canada, what is your thoughts on that? Do the Canadians look down at like Tampa Bay and like, yeah, what a bunch of bandwagon?
Well, I can't speak for all Canadians. I can just speak for myself. For me, I did. I did have that and a bit of Canadian elitism, if we want to call it that. So when Tampa first won in 2004, and then there was the lockout, and then Carolina won, and then I think Anaheim won. Yeah, when they beat Ottawa in 2003, it's like, do these cities really care? But Tampa's really blossomed into a great hockey city. But then Miami hasn't. Charlotte supporting the Hurricanes very, very well. The Predators, I'm amazed how well that city has rallied around it. But then Atlanta just never works. Twice.
Yeah. But it's crazy though. Like, I mean, for a while it was Buccaneers in Tampa, right. And then the Rays came in. And then it was like between the Rays and the Bucks, but nobody supports a baseball team that's called Tampa. That's actually in St. Pete. And the NHL team came in, and it was like, holy crap, man! Like, it almost reminds me because I'm a big fan of the Premier League. I watch a lot of soccer.
Okay, me too.
The support and stuff that you get when it comes to hockey teams, I almost relate to like soccer supporters, football supporters, almost, because they're that small little group. They have traveling fan bases that go to the away games like they do in the Premier League. It just, I've always felt maybe that's why I like hockey.
Yeah, I think there's something to it. Just different cities will respond differently. Atlanta is just, unless it's college sports, I mean, they're not even that great with the Braves, as good as they were in the 90s.
No.
So for whatever reason, that city is just not a great sports city. I'm sure a lot of Americans, though, too, when baseball first came up in the Blue Jays in '77, thought there's no way that's going to work. And for a time, and I can tell you this firsthand, growing up in Southern Ontario,
back-to-back World Series champions. That team was stacked.
Yeah. For, I'd say, a good 10, 15-year period, the Blue Jays were a hotter ticket than the Maple Leafs.
All right. Well, I want to thank my guest, Kirk Buchner, even though I did absolutely butcher his last name whenever he came on. We all kind of knew this was going on for a while, right? For real. Hold on. Control click to follow link. Control boom. All right, there we go. That's all I needed to know. There we go. Look at that. Oh yeah, I'm learning new hotkeys all the time. I found this story really, really interesting. NASA says it may study sex in space as it's crucial to long-term Mars missions. My all froze. Yeah, I am froze. Let me see. Am I all working now? I can't even open up. You know what? I can't even open up a news story. I'm going to have to start restarting this before every single show. I need to get with Vulture. We got to go over this thing. I mean, it just has to be done because I cannot keep dealing with this. Sign me up for that study. I'll get to it. They're basically saying, look, I already knew. I just got bit by a giant German Shepherd on a delivery. Are you for real, Foz? I mean, 200, like, or you, I mean, come on, man. Like, give me a call here, man. Like, kind of wasting a lot of content here. It sucks that you got bit by a German Shepherd and stuff, but come on. Give me a call here. Or, like, if it's after the show, before you can give me a call, I mean, maybe we can do a little, video link up later on and we can record it, Fozzie, if you really did get bit by a German Shepherd. But I hope you feel better, man. I really do. But back to the space thing. Didn't we all know, like, I would have already thought that they would have already, like, had sex in space. Come on. Like, that's the first thing. Like, if there's a study that they can include sex in, all these scientists, do you realize a lot of these scientists, not saying that they're bad guys or anything, but they probably haven't had the best luck with the ladies, if you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure that they're going to do anything that they can because they're all horned up. Let's find any way that we can include women into our blind study and we can ask them all types of questions. Because, a lot of these nerds, they're not comfortable sitting there and, like, dropping lines or creating a conversation. But when it comes to, like, if it's an experiment, that is their wheelhouse. That's their wheelhouse. So of course, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable. You know that they are. And I would have already thought that it's something that they would have already done. Sure, come on. Like, they're talking about long distance travel. All the people that have signed up to go to Mars, they've already told the people it's a one-way trip. You're not going to Mars thinking you're going to just get back to Earth if you get homesick. That's just not happening.
That a state trooper may have said.
People that are thinking that, I'm just going to be able to go to Mars and everything's going to be fine. No, it's not. You're there for the rest of your life. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Fozzie, Jesus Christ. You know what? I didn't even have the Google Voice up. Vulture is a guy that has been in charge of setting up major things, deliveries and all that good stuff when it comes to the military. And he's got to be on his game. He's got to be right on his game. And I got to go through some training with Vulture to be able to get all this stuff, like a checklist of things that I got to get done. Because, Vulture is a Marine. I mean, once a Marine, always a Marine. And guess what? I know, Foz, here. I think this is you. Fozzie.
Tuddle.
Hey, man.
Tuddle.
Sorry. I didn't have the Google Voice up. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's no problem, buddy. Oh, shit, I'm in the wrong lane. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I just got it's 200 here. I'm on my way to the ER. I just got bit up by a goddamn giant German Shepherd. That's 200, buddy.
Now, can I ask good neighborhood, bad neighborhood? And the only reason I ask that is because of homeowners insurance. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, believe it. My I's are dotted, my T's are crossed, kid. It was a medium type neighborhood at Pinellas Park, if you will. I went up and took the pizza to the homeowner, and as I was coming back down the driveway, I went into the little lanai kind of area there, and I let myself in the screened-in front screen door, leading into the front door of the house, and then I knocked on the door and negotiated the pizza deal. As I was walking out of the lanai, down the driveway, the guy that was going back inside of his house was trying to restrain his giant German Shepherd dog.
Mm-hmm.
I was continuing walking down the driveway, and then I could kind of hear commotion behind me, and then the dog busted out of the screen, but I kept walking down the driveway. As soon as I heard the dog bust out of the screen, I stopped and stayed still, thinking he might not take a hack at me. But I was wrong. He reached down and took a hack right at my right Achilles heel. I started bleeding like a sieve. I'm looking like Roger Clemens at the bloody sock gimmick. And so then I immediately go right back to the pizza shop and tell the boss man what had happened. And I was like, man, I got to get off the clock. I got to call the EMTs in the police department, and I'll probably go to the hospital and call a lawyer, Morgan and Morgan dog bite call. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So I'm sitting in the parking lot of the emergency room, talking to my boy Tizzle. How's the show, buddy?
I mean, it's going well. I mean, you sound pretty calm. You think you're going to need stitches or anything, or?
Yeah, I think I might need a couple of stitches. Because I took some pictures. I think I might need a couple of stitches.
What about rabies? Sure did you ask rabies shots? Did the dog have all that stuff done? You got to think about that type of stuff.
Yeah, I would like to think so. I'm sure the police went out there and did their due diligence and talked to the homeowner. That's exactly where they're at now, actually. And the way it concerns me. I hope the dog doesn't get put down because it was a beautiful animal, and I would.
It's the owner's. It's the owner's fault for not restraining the dog.
But by the way the owner was chasing the dog down the driveway, it leads me to believe this dog might have did something like this similar before. So. I hope that's not the case. But anyway, I just wanted to blow that in. That's a little bit what's happened in the life of Fozzie today. I'm going to get out of here and go get stitched up. That'll have a good rest of your show. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
My producer told me, tell him not to go off the clock because of workman's comp. You want to make sure you are on the clock the whole time. He needs the pizza place to be a party into the suit.
Yeah. I think I got clocked out just before I came here, but everything's on surveillance. I'm sure everything's gonna be cool.
All right, man.
I gotta go. See you, T.
All right, man. Bye. See ya. Bye. I wanted to talk about this story because, a lot of the hate that goes on to law enforcement, and a lot of it is kind of warranted, but you shouldn't let a few bad apples. I never supported defund the police, and people don't think that any of law enforcement, they don't care about you. They do this 10K run in Tampa, and it's over the Skyway Bridge. And if you don't know what the Skyway Bridge is in Tampa, it's the bridge that goes over the mouth of the bay. So a lot of the cruise ships and everything can go. So it's one of the tallest bridges in the United States. Second bridge in the United States where people commit suicide. I think Golden Gate Bridge is number one, but I know that the Skyway, because it is so high that I think maybe one person, and that person probably wishes that they were dead, survived jumping off of the Skyway Bridge in St. Petersburg. But they were doing this 10K run over the top of this bridge, and this intoxicated woman blows through all the roadblocks because the Skyway is not one of those bridges that you can just jog across. It's not. It's just not one of those bridges. So that's why they kind of do it, because they're like, hey, man, I get a chance to run up this steep-ass bridge Because a lot of those fitness people, look, I'm not looking down on them because I walk around too, but I'm not going to pay money. I've never understood this as well either. Like these people that pay money to go run marathons at Disney. You're paying to go run. Like I'm exercising. I'm completely behind getting in shape and taking care of your body. Thanks, Mad Dog. I miss being on Bubba's show. And I was thinking about, kind of talking Bubba related stuff. Yeah, it is a toll road, by the way. Yeah, you gotta pay to go over that big ass bridge. And the Skyway Bridge, that's the second Skyway Bridge. The first one was a slightly smaller bridge, but I guess some oil or something, some big ass cargo ship that was coming in to deliver goods. Because Tampa is a very big port in the state of Florida. A lot of stuff comes in there. But one of these ships ended up running into the old Skyway Bridge. And people were because I think it was dark. But people were driving off of the bridge. They were, think about that, because I think the speed limit is 65, 70 on the Skyway. Think about that. You're just going along at a pretty good pace, not much traffic. And then the next thing, you are falling out of the sky because you've driven off of a section of the bridge that collapsed because a ship ran into the old Skyway. That is what happened to people. That's why they built the bridge back. Yeah, it was 35 Swift. 35 Swift says it was foggy, and that's why the ship hit it. Yeah, but they also put a lot of barriers around those support pylons that they have there. But they're doing this run over the Skyway, and this intoxicated woman was going to go mow down a lot of people. I don't know if she was going to do it on purpose, but this trooper stepped in and was like, no, Dikembe Mutombo style, and just wagged her finger right in this drunk-ass bitch's face.
This is the moment that a state trooper may have saved many lives on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge.
And she was in one of those big FHP, Florida Highway Patrol Suburbans. But, man, she was still hauling ass when she hit this trooper.
Investigators say she deliberately put her SUV in the path of a drunk driver who was barreling toward runners in the Skyway 10K yesterday morning. Trooper Tony Shuck is now recovering at home tonight, while the woman who crashed into her sits in jail. Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon spoke with one of the trooper's colleagues.
Within seconds and no time to pause, Florida Highway Patrol Trooper Tony Shuck made a split-second decision.
I mean, seriously, like, we all think we would do this. You know, that game of, don't flinch. Yeah, I could, this takes a lot of balls. And this was a woman. This was a woman on, Women Rights Month. I don't know. What is this month? It's supposed to be for women, right? Good. They deserve a month. They do.
Placing herself directly in harm's way.
Man, she took the bump. She took the bump to save all those people that are suckers that are paying to run across this steep-ass bridge.
Using herself and her SUV as a barrier to protect runners in the Skyway 10K.
There was no time to think. You have to act. And without question, she was the last line of defense.
Behind the wheel of the BMW was 52-year-old Kristen Watts of Sarah.
Oh, man. Ooh. This woman looks like a person that you would think that would be drinking. Like, she's going through it right now. This woman, her mugshot, you could just see the pain in her eyes, the shame, the disgrace. She probably did something really bad that she feels bad about. And she's just self-medicating to make the pain go away. And this is why, look, I'm not trying to give this woman an excuse. Look, I dealt with mental illness in my life. And yes, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, but I was a big alcoholic. But I limited the amount of times that I was driving inebriated, because I would be lying to you if I told you that I never drove when I probably shouldn't have been. But man, you can, like, she's done with it. She probably was just day drinking, led to night drinking, didn't go to sleep, probably took an Adderall and started drinking again, because you can't be hungover if you stay drunk.
Soda. Trooper Ken Watson said she blew past road closures and law enforcement. As Watts got closer to the bridge, another trooper got into position trying to stop her. Ultimately, Trooper Shuck veered her SUV into her path.
There's no telling what would have happened had that vehicle actually reached all of those runners. The bottom line is these troopers saved dozens upon dozens of lives.
Mad Dog, I'm pretty close to Orlando. I'm about 80 miles away from Tampa.
Watts was wheeled into the Manatee County Jail Monday afternoon.
Oof, man. What, man.
Need public defender.
As she made her first appearance, she told a judge she has no job and is living off money from a lawsuit. As she faces multiple...
Oh, she's one of those people. White trash that is looking for a payday because probably one of their cousins, hey, cousin Kenny, he slipped up at the old convenience store. They didn't have one of those signs out. They were going to sue. We might get about 40, 50 grand. We'll blow through that. We'll blow through that on cigarettes, heaters, beer, scratch off tickets. Oh, that'll be gone in a heartbeat.
Multiple charges, including driving under the influence. She laughed.
Would you have any trouble coming to court?
Well, considering I don't have a car.
Okay, here. When you just straight up Talladega matted it and hit the front. What up, Spicy Slap? Thank you, buddy. I'm glad to see you. Spicy Slap says, hey, nice to see you, Tuddle. But you probably shouldn't make a joke about, I don't know, Judge, since I don't have a car because I ran it head on to a Florida Highway Patrol person. See, I use the right verbs and nouns and whatever I need to. I said, police, highway patrol person.
Trouble coming to court?
Well, considering I don't have a car.
Trooper Shuck is back home, resting with her family and recovering from a head wound and concussion.
Oh, yeah. Oof. This chick right here, like, she's not like, okay, so I'm not trying to objectify a hero because this is what this woman is. She's a hero. And this is the type of chick that every Southern mother would want their son to marry. Because, look, this woman can take care of you. She knows how to use a firearm, which could be really, really bad for you. But this woman, and you know she brings it. She brings it in the sack. General Savage, like, I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, look, like I'm saying, this chick right here is the type of woman that will take care of you. Like, you could be a kept man, and I'm not talking about getting taken care of financially or being, no. This chick is going to protect you if a bad guy ever breaks into a house. Like, if this chick right here is going to neutralize the situation. It is.
Concussion. With 26 years as a trooper, her instincts went above the call of a hero.
For this trooper to risk her life to make sure that others would be okay is the epitome of what service is all about.
Watts remains in the Manatee County Jail on a $52,000 bond.
I don't know if I can make it to court since I don't have a car.
The word hero truly is not enough to describe Trooper Shuck's actions. And if you would like to thank her, you can do so by sending either a card or well wishes to FHP's Troop C office. From the Skyway, Kimberly Quizon, Fox 13 News.
What up, Kimberly? All right, guys. I'm gonna regroup, and I'm gonna get that Robb Courtney interview that I was gonna play tonight. And unfortunately, I couldn't. I really did enjoy that conversation that I had with Robb with 2 B's, Robb Courtney. So I'm going to have that for you tomorrow, too. I want to thank everybody that's joined me tonight. Don't forget, if you want to donate, if you're in the chat room right now, please give me a thumbs up, a liking, whatever it is on your platform. It really does help me out with the algorithm, people. I'm sorry about the technical issues and stuff tonight. I'm learning as I go here, people. And I'm trying to do the best that I can because, I'm fortunate to get the people that I get that are coming in here to be able to have them. I owe it to you guys to put on a good product. So I do apologize. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Hope you guys stay safe. And I will talk to you tomorrow.